Hi friends, welcome back to Onyx Food Hill. Today I'm going to show you how to make egg roll wrappers. Egg roll wrappers are very easy to make at home, and you will need 1.5 cup of all-purpose flour. And once I've brought my flour to a mixing bowl, I'm going to be adding in half teaspoon of salt. I'll just go ahead and mix this up. After that, I'm just going to create a hole in the middle, and I'll gradually add water into this and mix. And I'm just going to go ahead and mix the flour, and I'll add more water into it and keep mixing. Once a thick dough is formed, I'm just going to use my hand now to knead the dough. At this point, our intention is to make the dough soft, smooth and stretchy. Once we have a stretchy dough like this, which is not sticky, I'm just going to mold this into a ball. And then I'm going to leave this to rest for 25 minutes. But before then, I'm just going to cover this with a cling film just so that our dough doesn't dry out while resting. After resting the dough for 25 minutes, it's now time to bring this out onto a rolling surface. But first of all, I love to dust my work surface with some flour. I'll also dust my hand, and then I'm going to roll the dough into a stick shape. My dough is now rolled out. Next, I'm just going to cut this into 12 portions. Once I've shaped them into portions like this, I'm just going to set some aside. You can cover the remaining dough with a towel before you start working on them. And I'm going to work with few at a time, so I'm just going to sprinkle flour over the dough. And I'm going to roll the dough in my palms like this. Once the dough is rolled out like this, I'm just going to flatten it with my hand. And I'm going to use a rolling pin to roll it out. But first of all, I'm just going to dust my rolling pin first. Once I've rolled it out like this, I'm just going to set it aside. And then I'm going to continue with the next one. Flatten it. And then roll it out again. And I'm going to set it aside also. Now All my doughs are rolled out to even shapes like this. Next, we are going to stack them up. But first of all, I'm going to apply a cooking oil over the surface. So I have my pastry brush here. I'm just going to rub the oil over the surface of the dough. Next, I'm going to sprinkle a small flour over it. This will prevent the wrappers from sticking to each other. And I'm going to stack this up. I'm just going to repeat this again. You can stack about 5 to 6 dough together. And we have 5 egg roll wrappers stacked together. For the last wrapper, you don't need to rub cooking oil over it. All I'm just going to do, I'm just going to sprinkle some flour over it, and then I'm still going to make use of my rolling pin. I'm just going to roll this over until I have a thin egg roll wrapper. As you roll, you rotate it and roll it out. Once our egg roll wrappers are thinly rolled out like this, the next thing, we are just going to cook it for 10 seconds on each side. I'm just going to bring this into a pan, and I'm just going to heat it up on medium heat for 10 seconds. After cooking my wrappers for 10 seconds, on one side, I'm just going to gently flip over to the next side. This will cook for another 10 seconds as well. And I'm going to bring this over to a surface. Now, I'm just going to carefully separate my egg roll wrappers. Once they are heated, it's easy to separate them. So guys, here are our egg roll wrappers. What we are going to do next is to trim the edges so that we have a regular shape. So I'm just going to use a knife to cut through the edges. You can make your egg roll wrappers into rectangular shapes or circular shapes. As for these ones, I'm going to leave them in circular shapes, so I'm just going to use a scissors to trim the edges. So guys, here are our egg roll wrappers. We have the rectangular shapes and the circular shape as well. Look at them. They look really perfect for your egg roll recipe. And you can easily preserve these by storing it in an airtight container like this. It can be stored in the fridge for a week. And I'm just going to place a lid over it and leave this in the fridge. This was how to make egg roll wrappers at home, and I hope you like this video. If you're new to my channel, please subscribe and click the bell button so you don't miss any of my interesting videos. Thank you guys for watching. Until next time.